My name's Olivia, I'm from Oxygen magazine and I'm here with the lovely Mel Leman.
Hello.
Now Mel, can you tell us just a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, certainly. So I'm Melissa Leman. My fiance and I own a fitness business named Greater Health. A big fitness enthusiast. From a young age I've always kind of been quite fit. Played a lot of netball growing up. Come from a working background actually in HR, so quite corporate, sitting down at a computer, working, eating all day. And I guess my biggest passion in life has been fitness. So as I've grown as a person, I really wanted to find a way where I could incorporate that into my everyday lifestyle, which is when I went on to study my Cert 3 and 4 in fitness. When I went through that process, probably the best advice anyone had given me was to be the best trainer. Would be to put myself through a process of a transformation, which is what got me very heavily into training in the gym. Yeah, so I started a training program and a food program and fell in love with the process of the structure and control, which got me into competing. So I've been competing since 2010 and I started off actually in figure, which is more body sculpting. But then I dropped down to the level of fitness modelling where I found it a little bit more flexible with personality and bringing the best out of myself to be quite feminine through my training as well. And I've gone on to win one show in the Asia Pacific competition, and then I went to LA and I competed with the WBFF where I was awarded my pro card. So that's been one of the highlights of my career, is receiving my pro fitness modelling card, and on from that, and now I mentor and coach other girls into doing the same.
So you're obviously very passionate about what you do. Coming from doing, just your general fitness and moving from a corporate job to fitness, what made you decide to take the next step to competing?
Definitely. I guess it's the structure that I really like, as well as the comparisons of the progress. I'm a very structured person and I'm very competitive with myself. So I find that in what I call my improvement season, I'll train really hard on my weak points. So I'll pick up whether it be my glutes or my shoulders that I want to improve on. And then when I get like leaner, back down into comp condition lean, which is leaner than obviously the average person living a healthy lifestyle, I can see my comparison shots from the year before or for my last show to my next show, so I can really see how far I've come with my training. So I do like that structure, and I have a purpose every time I go into the gym as well. So I'm not just going in aimlessly to lose body fat or to tone up, but I physically want to bring out certain parts of my body. So yeah.
And what do you say to those people who are trying to do that? They're really trying to make those changes in their body, but they're not seeing the results.
Yeah, definitely.
How would you approach those people?
I believe that you need to have structure. Because I work in a gym, so I see a lot of people come in and kind of fluff around, and they're putting the hard work in. So if you just take the guessing game out by investing in like a actual training program that's specific for your goals, and then backing that up with nutrition, then most certainly, every time you step in the gym or every time you're prepping food, that you're taking that one step closer to your goal. So I guess having structure in that sense, for them to seek a professional, to look for someone who walks the talk, or have a referral of someone obviously who they can say is a good candidate to be their mentor. Definitely, yeah.
And for you personally, what would your weekly training regime be?
My weekly regime? Yeah. Great. I love to train weights Monday to Friday, so I don't know if that's an old habit from when I was in corporate, a working week, and then I can recuperate over the weekend and have some downtime. So Monday to Friday, obviously because my goals are so specific, I like to keep my training program specific. I change the exercises up each day or week to week, but I keep a split where I like to hit my legs twice in a week. One of the sessions focusing a lot on glutes and trying to bring them up. And then I'll work through kind of like a shoulders and back workout and really trying to bring out the rear delts. It is a harder muscle to really bring out for the girls. a back and chest workout, so a push and pull. I find it's quite complementary because I don't want to hit too much on my chest, but I don't want to create any imbalances. And then I like to do arms with some abs and calves, yeah.
And within your split, would you train the same muscles each week and just mix up your exercises?
That's
or would
correct.
you mix up the actual muscles that you train?
As well, yeah. I don't, like, I've obviously been training now for quite some time, so I won't stick to a specific training program week to week. I'll definitely always obviously train each body part, but yeah, definitely I can cross mix them, like you know, back with biceps one week, but back and chest the other week. So I guess it's really what I'm feeling on that day when I wake up. And if I also find that I'm feeling I want to work on my shoulders more, I could hit them twice as well. So it's very responsive training as to visually looking in the mirror and seeing where I'm at and then going from there. Yeah.
So obviously nutrition plays a huge part in creating the body that you've got now. What would your average daily diet be, do you think?
Yeah, definitely. I guess, again, like with my goals being so specific, if I'm in my improvement season, I'll be definitely eating for the goal of to grow my muscles or condition them through a little bit further. So at that point, I'll be able to get a lot more carbohydrates in. I love carbohydrates coming from a source of sweet potato, brown rice, you know, rice cakes with peanut butter on it, things like that. I do eat quite healthy. Like, I guess our motto through Greater Health is a holistic approach where we always choose whole foods and quite like health foods and superfoods over anything else. So when getting ready for a photo shoot and stuff, I'll work through carb cycling, so I can have a higher carb day and then a lower carb day, and it'll really help fluctuate, I guess, that carbohydrate source coming in and accelerate my fat loss. There's so many methods, so it's really taken some time to trial and error and see what works best for me. Also, if it's, I guess if I haven't got anything crazy going on, then it's pretty steady state food coming through. Like, I'll always start my day with a nice source of carbohydrates, getting in from like berries and oats, protein shake or scrambled eggs and bacon, avocado. And then throughout the day, I like to incorporate all different sorts of food groups like tuna, salmon, nuts, you know, chicken, salads, mixed salads. I really get involved in adding in like olives and sun-dried tomatoes and feta and really try and spice it up. So obviously people can complain a little bit about healthy food being a bit boring, but if you can put a little bit of love into it, yeah, then it's not that bad at all. So I do tend to always, because I train in the middle of the day, so I get a lot of my carbs in around from morning to the middle of the day and just after, and then I lean it out at night, because personally I just don't like to go to bed too full. So.
Yep. Yeah. And obviously you've got a lot of women following you as a mentor. What would you be, what advice would you be giving them?
Definitely. I have worked with quite a lot of women face to face and also online around the world, and I guess over these years one thing I have really found is that a lot of women they reach out for help, but they lack a lot of self-belief. So even when you can write it down on paper and say you can do this, they get the plans, and then they still struggle with the fact that if they do just follow it and just be consistent, it will happen. I guess it's only can be quite natural for us to want to put a mental barrier up and say like, oh, you know, I'm not going to get there, or I'm not good enough. So that's been one massive thing that I've definitely encountered. So for me as a role model, like I always try and tell my girls, like, you know, all you gotta do is be consistent. Be consistent, stay with the program, or believe in yourself enough to really push through the lows, and then you'll see the highs. So it's not rocket science, but it does take some dedication and consistency, whether your goal be in fitness or if it's to do with your career, whatever it is in life. Yeah, just keep going with it, because our brain does want to put that kind of mental barrier on us and tell us that we can only achieve so much, but really it's limitless. Yeah.
And one last question, do you have a favourite exercise?
Oh yeah, which one is the question? Well, my two favourite body parts to train is shoulders and glutes. I guess my legs are very powerful, and that's probably coming from my netball background, because it is all agility and speed and plyometrics and stuff. So I tend to come into new love of exercises every so months, but at the moment I really love to train my glutes. I really do think the most effective glute or leg exercise would be the barbell walking lunges. It's a compound movement, so also working through the core, and I think one of the hardest things, and it literally has taken me a while to tune into, would be the mind to muscle for my glute. I tend to be quite quad dominant, so when I had switched that on, it was like a new element to my leg training, so I can really tune into it. So I do enjoy the walking lunges with the barbell, and a glute isolation would be like the cable kick back, so a really big squeeze through the glute. And then I really do like the Arnold's with the shoulders to really bring in the front delt, as well, a big compound movement, and isolation through the side raises. So.
And you've talked a lot about weight training. What about cardio? How do you incorporate that?
Definitely. It's I personally, again, it's this thing that is what works best for you, but I personally love cardio. And I say it from a point of, like I said, I train in the middle of the day, so when I first get up in the morning, what's going to put me in the most positive headspace? So when I'm not getting like super close to a show or a shoot, I genuinely go out for a walk. So I'm very blessed because I live one street back from the beach. And my fiance and I will go out for a beach walk, or we'll get on the Burleigh Path. I live on the Gold Coast, and I lap up the sun in summer, and rug up in winter. But it really is a good way to start my day because, get the blood flowing and have a positive effect. And then when I have to lean down a little bit further for my shows or shoots, I'll turn it up a notch, and I'll get into the gym, and I'll work through all different equipment, because I do think the body, for it to see change, you need to change up what you're doing. So I'll work through your cross trainer, your resistance bike, standing up cycling, sitting down, work through the inclines, and interval training through sprints and so forth. I don't have like one method. I like to mix it up, and again, it's like when you first wake up in the morning, how much energy do you have can dictate as well kind of where you go with that. So
awesome. And do you have one last tip for the viewers?
Well, it depends what they want to hear. One tip for the viewers. Have an I can, I will attitude. I guess whatever your goal is, whether it be fitness related or anything with your life, it is possible if you work hard and be consistent. Have a really good support network around you, and don't give up. As cliche as that sounds, when you push through those lows, you will see the highs, and go get it. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mel.
Thank you, Olivia.
That's a wrap.